Welcome to Tales and Tunes Dark, a magical place where stories come alive. So sit back, relax.
Every Christmas brings lights, gifts, and laughter. But some Christmases bring something far more powerful. This is the story of one winter night, one forgotten promise, and a miracle that didn't come wrapped in paper, but in forgiveness. Winter arrives quietly in small towns, not with noise, but with a hush. Snow settles like an unspoken promise. Footsteps soften, voices lower, and memories grow louder. The Christmas that taught the town how to forgive. In the town of Evergreen Hollow, winter always arrived before Christmas, as if the season itself wanted time to prepare hearts for something important. For some, Christmas meant celebration. For others, survival. And for a few, it meant reckoning. This is the story of one Christmas that changed not just a family, but an entire town. Evergreen Hollow was the kind of town people forgot existed. Tucked between pine forests and frozen hills, it survived on habits more than ambition. There was one main street, one bakery, one church whose bells rang even when no one came. People knew each other's names, and worse, they knew each other's mistakes. At the edge of this town stood an old house, white paint peeling, windows always lit. It belonged to Margaret Hale. Margaret Hale had lived in Evergreen Hollow for 68 years. She had been born there, married there, and buried her husband there on a cold December morning 15 years ago. 15 years ago. After that, Christmas never felt the same. She still decorated, still baked, still smiled, but joy had learned to sit quietly in her heart like a guest who didn't want to stay too long. Her son, Thomas Hale, used to bring laughter back into the house, until the night he left. It happened 1 week before Christmas. Thomas was 23, angry, dream-filled. He wanted to leave Evergreen Hollow. Margaret wanted him safe. Words turned sharp, voices rose, fear disguised itself as control. Thomas shouted things he couldn't take back. Margaret said things she didn't mean, and the door closed harder than either of them expected. Thomas never came back. 1 year passed, then 3, then 10. No letters, no calls. Margaret told the town she didn't care, but every Christmas Eve she set an extra place at the table, and every Christmas morning she folded it away in silence. Evergreen Hollow was kind, but it was not gentle. People whispered, "Ungrateful son, stubborn mother, pride runs in that family." No one asked how grief sounds when it lives alone in a house. This Christmas felt heavier. The snow fell earlier, the nights stretched longer. Margaret felt tired in a way sleep couldn't fix, and something else lingered in the air, a feeling the town didn't yet understand. 3 days before Christmas, a man arrived in Evergreen Hollow. He wore a worn coat, carried a small suitcase, and looked at the town like it remembered him. No one recognized him, but the town recognized him. Thomas Hale had come home. Thomas had not found success. He had found failure, loss, shame, jobs that ended, friendships that faded, dreams that cracked under reality. Every Christmas he meant to return, and every Christmas fear stopped him. How do you return home when you left in anger and came back broken? Thomas had written dozens of letters, apologies, explanations, confessions. He burned most of them, because words are easy when you don't have to face the person. Christmas Eve arrived quietly. Margaret baked bread she didn't need, polished silver she wouldn't use. She lit a candle for Thomas, as she did every year, and whispered, "Wherever you are, be warm." The knock came just after sunset, soft, uncertain. Margaret froze. No one knocked on her door anymore. When she opened it, time stood still. No dramatic words, no accusations, just two people standing face to face with years between them. Thomas said, "I don't know how to come home." Margaret replied, "You never left." And the town outside watched as forgiveness walked through the snow. The house filled with warmth, stories, tears, laughter that trembled at first, then grew steady. The extra chair was finally used. Word spread quickly, not gossip, but wonder. People remembered their own silences, their own unfinished conversations. Doors opened that hadn't in years. Snow covered Evergreen Hollow like forgiveness. The church bells rang louder than usual. Margaret and Thomas sat together, not healed, but healing. Christmas didn't fix everything, but it reminded everyone of something important. That love waits longer than pride. That home is patient, and forgiveness is the bravest gift of all. Somewhere, someone is waiting for you, with a light still on, with a place still set. This Christmas, be the one who knocks, because miracles don't always fall from the sky.